when it comes to rights and how we treat certain things, you may actually get to a point where we have to ask the question, does an artificial system have rights?
Huh.
Is there an expectation of how...
I definitely prefer the word synthetic. Because when you say, does a synthetic system have rights? Hell no.
Well, at some point, we have to ask, what's the difference between it emulating this thing and it coming from a human being? And if we can't tell the difference at some point, which is possible, right? We're thinking of it in terms of chatbots and us sitting on a machine, but the advancement in humanoid robots that has happened just in the last few years has been astonishing. And if you trace the history of humanoid robots just in the last 25 years, literally, I believe it was in 2000, maybe 2001, Honda released their Asimo robot. That was their first humanoid robot that we were able to see. And everybody was like, oh, that's cute. Because it had 2 hands and 2 feet and it was doing all this. Right. And then a few years later, Boston Dynamics launched and they created that dog-looking robot, that 4-legged dog. But it was horrible looking because they had all these wires connected and everything else.
Scary as hell.
Scary, still very scary. And then nothing happened for a very long time. And when I say nothing, I mean they developed humanoid robots and all of that, but it still looked very robotic. But in the last few years, they have made us change where instead of them trying to tell the robot how to behave, they've given it an AI brain.
God.
And now it learns. And right now, the latest humanoid robot released by Boston Dynamics is a completely different machine than anything even now. Imagine that system, maybe 5 years from now, maybe 20 years from now, paired with just the large language models that we know today, but having advanced for another 10 years. And you have those systems just walking around in the real world. The question of how we treat those things may be raised again.
Wow, that is incredible. That's an incredible, I mean, it's right out of a movie. And it almost makes you wonder, art imitating life, life imitating art.
They got it correct with this one. I'm a sci-fi person. I love to watch those movies. And sometimes it's comical how bad their predictions were. But with a lot of these things, with maybe it was inevitable or maybe that just sort of created a North Star for these researchers. Hard to know which way is which.
A doomsday movie, can we?
So, and a lot of people are saying, hey, listen, if the developments are looking just like the movies, then we should also take the lessons from those movies. And so maybe Terminator is a documentary and we should be very careful about creating an artificial superintelligence. So yeah, it's a very different world just in the last few years, a very different world.